Microsoft just released something that's going to change the way we build Power BI semantic models. And I know sometimes we throw around the word game changer a little bit, but this is actually a game changer and it's very cool. And I'm going to show you how it works, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up for yourself. So first thing we'll do is over here, you can see I've got AdventureWorks Sales. This is just a demo Microsoft Power BI report. I've got it open in Power BI Desktop. Let's go and add some measures. So opening up Claude Desktop is what I'm going to be using today. Just jump in here. Create measures for total revenue, average order value, total units sold, and year-over-year sales growth. So Claude, which is connected to Power BI Desktop, is now running that. It's asking me permissions to edit the TMDL file. If you haven't seen the TMDL file before, it is over here, and it is all the metadata about the Power BI semantic model, so relationships, tables, measures, etc. So for example, here I'll build a new one. We can look at the date table, and this is all the values in the date table. So the MCP server has access to this. Jump back into the report, jump back into this, allow connection. And you can see there it automatically happened on the side. It's added all those measures, and we can have a look, and some of them are pretty complex. If we look at sales amount by due date, you can see it's using a function called useRelationship, which means it understands the semantic model has inactive relationships. Let's check. And you can see that it does have inactive relationships. So it understands the context of the semantic model, which is very cool. So I don't have to tell it all that information. It can look and can see what's going on in the Power BI report. Can you put all the measures we created into a folder called metrics? So a lot of manual work that you would have to do before with me clicking or control clicking on all of these to give them a folder name. It understands the context and it's created a metrics folder for us right here. Now, if you don't like using folders, you prefer using a measure table, let's see if Claude can do that. Instead of doing this, can you create a measures table called _metrics to put it at the top and put all these measures in that table? All right, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's see. All right, it's asking permissions. Obviously with the demo, I'm only doing allow once, but you can always allow. But sometimes it's good because I might say the wrong thing. I don't want to go and break things. Oh, there you go. Didn't get the underscore, but it has made the metrics table. And there the measures have gone. And it's kept the metrics folder, and there they all are there. So that is pretty cool. So Microsoft released this. To get this to work, you need Power BI Modeling MCP Server. It's in public preview as of November 2025. If you want to have a look at what's happening, here's the diagram. So me as a Power BI developer, I'm using a natural language request. I'm using Claude and chatting through the Claude LLM using the MCP protocol. And this is what you will need to install on your machine, the Power BI Modeling MCP. Now, what I'm doing is I'm connecting to Power BI desktop file that's open on my device, but you can also connect to a Fabric workspace or the PBIP, so the project extension of Power BI. So Today I'm just doing the Power BI desktop, but pretty cool that you can even go into a workspace if you have permissions to get in there as well. So let's do a few more things and then we'll jump into how to install it. Back into Claude. Let's try doing some descriptions. Add descriptions to all the measures we just created, explaining what each one calculates in plain English that a business user would understand. All right. So we can see here in the TMDL file, it's saying the total amount of money generated from all sales. So that's the description that it's given it. And as it runs that, we should be able to go into the metrics. Total net revenue. If we go in so we can view in here. And you can see the description has been entered here. So we can run this across the whole model just with one prompt, which is very cool. All right, let's try something else. What about some recommendations? So let's run it over the model and say, what can you improve for us? Analyze my entire model structure. Tell me about the tables, relationships, any issues you see, and suggest improvements for better performance or usability. Okay, so first it needs access, and once it gets access, it's looking over everything. Once access to the relationships, all right, so it's getting all the different parts, all the different metadata behind the model. So 13 tables, 99 columns. So really good if you need to produce documentation. So auto-generated local date table clutter. Yeah, so I did see that as well when I was looking at this Power BI report. It doesn't have a proper date table. So it's actually telling me how you can turn this off. And that's something I always recommend in training courses. And I bet that if we go into the date table, it's probably not even marked as a date table. And it's not. Let's have a look. No, it's not marked as a date table. So that's a good pickup there. Well, there's bidirectional relationships. That's not good either. So very handy. You can run this over your projects, get some examples, clean up your Power BI reports. All right, so I know you probably want to set this up for yourself. So what do you need? Power BI Desktop, obviously, will need to be installed. You will need Visual Code Studio, Claude Desktop, and then obviously a PBIX file to test it with. So first thing you're going to need is code from visualstudio.com. So I'll put all the links down below, but this is what it looks like. So you'll need to download this. Obviously I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm downloading Visual Studio Code. Once it's installed, it will look like this. So this is the application that you need to run Power BI modeling MCP server. So it's a little bit different if you've used other Claude MCPs before, where it has a little hammer and it's here. We have to actually install this via VS Code. So once you have installed VS Code, you will need to install the MCP extension. So bring that over. That looks like that. So once you click this link, you'll see the install button. Click on install. It will take you over to VS Code. And I've already installed it, but you'll just click the install button. This will install it in VS Code. It's got some information here, also that diagram I referenced before. Now, you don't have to use Claude Desktop to do what I'm doing. Claude is just my preferred tool at the moment. You can do it with Copilot directly in here if you have a license for Copilot. I have a license for Claude, so I'm going to show you how to do it in Claude. So to do that, last thing you'll need to install is Claude Desktop. I'll put the link there below. So you can't run this via the web browser. You do need Claude Desktop installed. So I've already got that installed as well, but feel free to install Claude Desktop. Step 3, what you want to do is figure out where VS Code installed the MCP server files. And the easiest way to do that is to paste this string into File Explorer. If I paste it in here, so I'm looking for any user profile, VS Code extensions, and you can see I've got Copilot, but I've also got this MCP modeling installed that we previously installed. And when I jump in here, let's see, we are looking for Power BI modeling MCP exe file. So it's in the server folder. So this is the actual application that we are looking for. Once you've got it, right click, and we need the path. So copy as path, so you can get the exact path of where this particular exe file lives. Okay, once you have this path, we can head over to Claude Desktop, File, Settings. Down the bottom, you'll see Developer Settings. In the Developer Settings, you can see I've already got mine set up and it's running, but you'll need to go Edit Config and open up this file. All right, bring it onto the screen, and you can see here's the file here, and for me, I've put the path of where that file lives in here. Once you've got the path in here and you save that file, you'll most likely need to restart Claude Desktop. In fact, I needed to restart my whole device. And once Claude Desktop opens up again, you'll see it there in the developers section. And then all you need to do is jump into Claude again. And we can go brand new chat here. Okay, so connect to open Power BI report in desktop. Now, I did find it important to clarify that it's in desktop because otherwise it starts looking in the Power BI service. So now it's just looking to see if anything is open. It did find an open instance called Adventure Works Sales. Now it's going to connect. And it looks like we're connected again. So let's test it to see if we can do something. Create a time intelligence DAX measure for year to date on total revenue. Put it in the metrics folder. Okay. It's to connect, and hopefully we should see the measure here. Okay, so it's finding the measure that already exists. And now it's going to create a year-to-date measure. Total revenue year-to-date. Perfect. Now, obviously, you could do this with all your measures at once, year-to-date, month-to-date. And so that's the advantage, that you can kind of batch do all your measures. All your formatting, you can see the formatting here is already in dollar signs, which is great. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think you're going to have a lot of fun playing with this. I'd appreciate if you enjoyed it, that you give it a like and comment. And if you are working on this and you can't get it to work for yourself, or you'd like me to come in, I am a freelance Power BI consultant, so more than happy if you would like me to work with you to see if you can get this up and running. It will change the way you use Power BI. So thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.